Hi everyone, it's me again. I'm Alan, and today we have a new guest speaker. She is Sabrina. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Media Studies in University of British Columbia, Vancouver. Hi Sabrina.
Hi, Ellen. Thanks for having me.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Good. I'm not bad too. Thank you. How? What is the time there now?
It's 8:30-ish over here in the night.
All right.
Yeah.
How's the weather there? It is cold, rainy, as you said.
Actually, it's still in the midst of summer, so it was actually pretty nice today. It was still sunny, but I don't think that's gonna last very long. So I'm enjoying it.
When will it usually rain? Like during when? Like around which
When?
month will have a high, really heavy rain? Any particular months of that?
Yeah, actually, basically, once September comes, you just have to kind of expect the rain to come. So I'm expecting it to come now anytime now.
Yes, it's September, almost the mid of September.
Mhm.
Right. So, Sabrina, you are currently a graduate. When do you graduate? Sorry.
Yes, I graduated in the May of 2019.
Okay, so 2 years ago. So you have just escaped from the COVID situation.
Exactly. I still managed to have a ceremony, so I was pretty fortunate.
That's great. You study Bachelor of Media Studies, right? And what do you do now?
Right. I work at a radio station, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
as broadcast.
Yes, I broadcast for around a few minutes. Yeah.
For news, the general news.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I
Ah,
report the news. Mhm.
oh, nice. So how's the working situation there? Is good. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I would say in terms of COVID, I don't think we've been affected too much. Sometimes we get to
Right.
work from home, but otherwise we have to go to into the studio so we can broadcast. So
Wow.
not much of a change, I would say.
That's great.
Mhm.
So, Sabrina, in her videos, she has two videos. One is about the how to apply for the university in Vancouver, and the second video is about the transportation and budgeting. And in this episode, we are going to have Sabrina to share her experience in how to apply for the university in Vancouver. So, um, by the way, Sabrina, how long have you been studying abroad or in Canada?
For my university, I studied there for 4 years. But actually,
Mm.
I was born here in Vancouver. So, for the first 10
Ah,
years of my life, I also studied elementary school here in Canada.
right. Like regarding your application, other than preparing for the personal profile, or I think a lot of students may refer that as a personal statement,
Mm.
right? Is that the same in your school? Are they the same?
Um, I think for UBC, they call it the personal profile. And they ask you to fill in a few prompts. And
Right.
usually, our counselors did tell us to take it seriously. So don't just, try to BS your way through it. Because I think
Ah,
they do look pretty seriously at that personal profile. But I think it is pretty similar to a personal statement.
and you don't need a separate letter for that, like a
No.
letter of no, you don't need that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So other than preparing for the personal profile, anything you need to prepare for the application, like exams or any other documents you need.
In terms of documents, it would just probably be your predicted grades or your
Mm.
grades. Yeah. In terms of any other additional documents, from what I recall, I don't think so. But perhaps maybe one or two references from your school, maybe a teacher or a counselor, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Mhm.
But for the international students who would like to apply for this school in Canada, do they
Mhm.
need like those SAT, ACT, or these kind of standard exam?
For Canada, you don't need SATs. I think the SAT
Oh.
only applies for the US, but usually what we did in our school, most of us just took the SAT anyway, just in case they wanted to go to the US. So most people took the
Mm.
SAT anyway, even if they wanted to go to Canada in the end.
Mm. And why do you choose to study in Canada but not in US? You have been
Well,
living there
first,
for quite a years already.
First of all, I'm lucky enough to be a Canadian citizen, so I get to pay domestic tuition. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think from what I've heard of other people's experiences as well, a lot of liberal colleges or universities are both in Canada and the US. And I have heard that the experience of a liberal university doesn't really matter whether you're in the US or Canada, but a lot of people kind of tend to have the idea that going to university in the US is more prestigious.
Mm,
I can't say whether that's true or not, but for me, I think if it's liberal university experience you're going for, Canada is also a good choice.
mm.
Mhm,
Then, when talking about the culture, what
mhm.
is the study environment in UBC? Like the class size, the culture, the modes of learning?
So there's a pretty big variety actually. If you go into some of the first year classes in UBC, you can have perhaps a class of 200. For example, if you take
Mm,
psychology, that was really popular.
mm,
Economics, math. So first year general courses, it can be up to 200 people. But if you do a more specialized program, perhaps in your upper years, for example, for me, my media studies was based on cohort style. So we actually had a very small
mm,
class size. So we had from like 40 to 60-ish for our whole a year. So
mm,
we had yeah, a relatively small class size for media studies.
mm. And how many international students are there?
Mhm. Yeah, actually, there are a lot of international students that come to UBC.
Mm,
Yes, for my program specifically, not as many, but
right.
for some of the other courses, a School of Business, there's lots of international students there. Computer science, also lots of science. Yeah, lots of international
Mm.
students there.
Are there any particular subjects that the university might emphasize more for during your high school, in your college? So, for example, some of the university in Hong Kong they might emphasize a lot on maths, and so the maths grade will be more important compared to the others. So, how about media studies? Is there any particular subjects that the university might emphasize more?
Specifically for media studies, rather than specific subjects, what we also had to submit was a supplemental application. For example,
Mm.
some little creative projects that you might be interested in doing. And you can submit
Mm.
music, visual arts, writing, creative writing, that kind of thing. I think you submit 5 pieces, 5 examples of your work. Yeah.
That's quite a lot. And what is submitted that time?
Yeah, I just submitted some stuff that I worked on in high school. For example, I had some art pieces because I took visual arts one year. I had some
Oh,
music, I took music too, and some writing, some personal projects from my writing, and also some class assignments too. So you can I basically add in what you want to show them. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. Well, that's take quite a lot of time to prepare those portfolio, I would say.
Yeah, actually, I guess I didn't really think about it before, but I think for me, because in high school I got to take visual arts and music, so I already had some assignments I had ready that I could submit as my samples. But if perhaps you're personally interested or you take art classes outside of school, then you can also submit that as well.
So
Mhm.
in the video, you mentioned that you have generally the students, the applicants can submit 2 to 3 choices of programs or university. So at that time, which of the three options that, or which of the three choices you have made?
Mm. For me, because I knew that I wouldn't be going down, I wouldn't take business or I wouldn't take science, for example. So I already narrowed
Mm,
it down to, let's say, arts. And I found out about the Bachelor of Media Studies or UBC, and I thought that was interesting. So then but at that moment, I wasn't sure if that was what I wanted to do. So I just chose a more
mm.
general path, which was the Bachelor of Arts, and I put that as my first choice. And also, as I explained in the video, I realized afterwards that I actually wanted to do media studies instead after I applied. So then there was a little bit of a problem, logistics, getting that sorted. So I got accepted into Bachelor of Arts for my first year. And then I switched back into media studies after my first year.
So in the Bachelor of Arts,
Mhm.
what did you study? Any
Mhm.
or are they general subjects or what kind of Bachelor of Arts? It is like you mean a visual arts.
Oh, a Bachelor of Arts is a broader term. So arts can
Mm,
also
right,
mean social sciences.
right.
Um, yeah, it's not just limited to visual arts.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you study at the Bachelor of Arts in the first year?
So actually I took it gets a little complicated. I chose a stream that was connected to the media studies program. So
Mm,
that specific stream, they gave you the courses that people from the media studies take. So
mm,
in that stream, we had English, so a general English course.
mm,
I think we had creative writing,
mm,
film studies.
mm.
Um, yeah, so along those
Okay.
lines, yeah. So that was part of the media studies stream, but I was just in the Bachelor of Arts, but it was connected. Yeah.
Okay. And then you can actually change that in your second year.
Yeah, because I was lucky that they had an opening in the media studies cohort, so then I was also able to
Oh,
submit my application again, and they accepted me. So then I got back in.
oh.
Yeah.
And do you need to have any interview?
Interview, no. It was just based on my supplemental application, but that was back in 2016, 2017-ish. So I'm not sure if they changed the requirements since, but when I did it, I didn't have to do an additional interview.
Hmm. So in your first time application, you don't need any interview as well.
Mm-mm.
That sounds quite easy. So you basically just predicted grades, your
Mhm.
grades, and your personal profile, and that's
Personal
it.
profile. Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
But do you think that is, in general, is this easy or is it challenging to apply for the school in Canada, in
Mhm.
like UBC or in Canada? It is difficult to
Um,
get accepted.
mhm. Um, I don't want to make any speculations about how hard it might be or easy, but I do know that it
Mm.
seems a little harder for domestic students to get into
Oh,
UBC because
interesting.
I knew some friends from here before when I took some elementary school here, and not
Mm.
everyone who wanted to get into UBC can get in right away. They might transfer in their third year or their second year, but I feel like it's a little easier for international students to get in to UBC.
Mm. Okay. So are there a lot of Hong Kong students in your school?
Yes, actually, yeah. I did
So
manage to
you have a
join.
big family there.
Yeah. We have quite a few Hong Kong student clubs actually, and I was part of one
Oh.
of them. So that was fun.
What kind of clubs are they? What kind of clubs?
Yeah. There was, from what I know, there was one that is more for clubbing. If you like that kind of
Mm.
activity, and the other one that I was part of was a variety of events. So like there was a sports department, there's a internal department, and then there's like a special events department. Yeah, and so there's just a whole variety of things. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I think the learning environment there is quite diverse, and
Yeah.
I believe that you have a lot of Hong Kong friends to be a family together with you. So it's so much easier. Well, so much easier for them to go adapt to a new life. Well, you have been living there for already more than 10 years already, like more than 10 years already now since you were born there. So I think in our next video, I think we are going to talk more about your lifestyle. So
Okay.
like how do you commute? How do you do the budgeting, and how well do you live in Canada? So we will leave this to our next episode. And so everyone, please leave any comments if you have any questions um, about for Sabrina. So please feel free to leave some comment down there, and I will see you in the next episode. And thanks, Sabrina, for sharing your experience about the application. And I will see you next time. See you all. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Ellen.
Thank you.